take any of the fields. For example, as I said, treating the family. If someone would really just take this as a field for his life, to specialize in this field, what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said related to this topic, and what the world came up in all of these years of education in university and specialization, what did they come up in this field, we will realize that you don't find anything over there that is better than the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, I have read some books about psychology and talked to some people in that field. Believe me, after talking to some people that are specialized in this field, they call me occasionally just to find out what's the solutions to some of the problems that they don't have solutions for. What is the solution from in the light of a hadith for it? And I don't remember a single time where I had to tell them that there is no solution to it. Not a single time. And they call me only when they find themselves at the dead end. They tried their best, they did everything, it did not work, so they would call me, what would you suggest in this regard now? So, and this is only one field. Now you take anything else. You take any of the adab, the way of respecting, how to respect. How to respect Allah, how to respect the prophets of Allah, how to respect people, how to respect neighbors, how to respect elders, how to respect the youngsters, how to respect teachers. If you look at that field. And of course, it's a field where the world is totally at failure. So I think this is not a good example at all. We shouldn't even use it as an example. Because really, at this time, with all the education that is there, adab is out. There is no adab, there is no respect. We don't want to start another topic now when we see how they disrespect Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam. And intentionally they would try to disrespect Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam just to hurt the feelings of Muslims. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they keep on accusing Quran and accusing Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. If they would just look at one ayah of Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and does instruction given to the ummah, وَلَا تَسُبُّ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّ اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. Never say a bad word against things that they worship, objects that they worship beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lest they would start cursing at Allah without having any knowledge. Just because of animosity. So Quran is even teaching us that don't curse at their idols. Don't curse at what they're worshipping. And here they are cursing at the one who's teaching the world that don't curse at them. Subhanallah. There is someone who's going out and is reaching every Muslim and telling each and every believer, billions of people in the world, don't curse at these people and don't curse at what they worship. And they in return start cursing at that same person. Subhanallah. Here you see that when people just lose adab, respect, and there are no manners, then this is the only time that people will start doing something like this. But when we start looking at politics, for example, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's teachings about how to run a government, how to run a state, how to run a city, how to run a house, all of these things that we may call it something related to politics. Start taking the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then if we start looking at the teachings that are out there today, and people have really did a lot of investigations, a lot of research, and went into so much detail to come up with rules and things, and you will find there is nothing like the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How to deal with criminals? It's a part of the law, and there are people that specialize only in this field. They have nothing else to do in their life. There are lawyers that would specialize only in this. And here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave us all the details about it, subhanallah. All the details about how to deal with criminals. And up to this day, we can't find anything better than what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us. And I'm not saying this because we are believers, we are Muslims, I say this to non-Muslims also, and we all can say it to them also. And at the same time, if we sometimes just sit and start looking at the rules of Islam related to these things, and we start taking what others are saying and what the laws of the countries, different countries of the world are at this time, we would see the difference. We ourselves will be able to see the clear difference there, that here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not just paying attention to one side. A lot of time you see in these rules, either the people who are making the rule, either they are siding with the criminal, and he's really getting so much benefit, that people who were robbed, people who are killed, people who were, when the wrong was done against them, they keep on crying. They have nothing but just to sit and cry, because this is the whole justice they can get. Or you would see such strict punishment to the person who have committed the crime, and now the criminal and the person who go with him, they for the rest of their life, they will be just sitting and crying, that this is totally injustice, that for this crime, this person has to go through all of this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you start looking at these rules, you would realize that on one side, he's making sure that the criminals will stay under control, and they will have to pay for whatever wrong they have done, and justice is given to the person who is against whom this wrong was done, and at the same time as this person is getting the justice, as this person is getting paid for any wrong that was done to him, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us a rule. He told us a rule that makes sure that this person that was oppressed, at no point he becomes the oppressor, and the other person will become Muslim, and he will become the oppressed one. But really, you don't see that type of justice anywhere else. And not only this, then in these type of rules of the Sharia, you would see there is a third thing that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always observed, and he told us that to keep in mind that in this world at this time, people who are coming up with these rules, they don't care about that at all. And that is, what will be the effect of this on the society? What will be the effect of it on the rest of the society? Is the rest of the society going to benefit from what we are doing to the wrongdoer? Is the rest of the society is going to pay for it? Are we going to make the whole society pay for it because of one person? Subhanallah, if you look at the rules of the Sharia, these are the most perfect ones related to this topic and any topic. So the point I was mentioning, that when we take any of these topics, and there are hundreds, and when you take any of these topics, it feels like this was the specialty of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and whereas we see that he gave us instructions about every field of life. Every field of life. So this deen is comprehensive deen. This is a comprehensive deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum. Today I have perfected this deen. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, over a period of 23 years, he taught people this deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With this now, I was just giving examples so that we can understand this, that just imagine how many things Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam have taught the ummah. If we just start making list of those topics and subjects, we may not be able to, our life may not suffice to do, just to make a list of all of these topics. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, over a period of 23 years, he taught us all of these things in every detail. Towards the end of his life, a big question was in some people's mind, that so many of these teachings, if someone would come to ask us, someone will come to us with this question, that what is the gist of this deen? Can you tell us the summary of all the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for that purpose, he sent Jibreel alayhi salatu wa salam to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Well-known hadith narrated by Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu says, while we are sitting with Rasul